How's it going, everybody? This is Dr. Brent Britt, Science of Falling, and today we're going to be going over the 90-day 8 Strong Blueprint, which is the coaching program I have. But I want to talk about the methods inside of that coaching program so that if you're one of those people that feels confident in your education, in your knowledge, that now you have a system that you can follow to try to use that information wisely and effectively to make sure you age strong. Also, if you are somebody who needs that extra support, who really started from zero and doesn't know what to do, who needs the knowledge, this is a good way for you to get introduction to the program and see if it's something that might fit with you, if my style fits with you. So we're going to get into it. First, we're going to start with a little bit of an overview. Then I'm going to tell you more about myself and why you should even believe in anything in this program. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the actual method that I use during the program to really wrap everything up. So let's get into it. And this should only be about 15 minutes or so. So the A Strong Blueprint in the coaching section is really a 90-day program with an extra 30 days of support that is meant to take you from zero to wellness hero, essentially, and show you the groundwork and building of the pyramid of your wellness, of learning about so many aspects of your nutrition, health, physicality, the mental work, the social aspects of being healthy. So it is really based on a lot of scientific evidence in terms of the things that I teach are built in with supporting research. And also, it's the 90 days is designed to help you build habits. If you're just doing this for a month, you don't build the habits you need to do this forever. And really, my goal at the end of the day is for you to have this healthy life. But after you go through this 3-month program with that extra month of support, you never really need coaching again. That's my whole goal, is that you know what to do. So let's get into the method that I use in this program. So it's called the Forever Fit method, and it's made of 5 components. We have the mental, physical, nutrition, recovery, and the social aspects. Each one of these components is a key part in having a full, long living, well life, right? But most trainers, most people who are trying to help you with your wellness are only really going to focus on the physical, nutrition, and recovery. And mostly in those aspects, it's going to be mostly physical nutrition. But in my opinion, as a physical therapist who's worked with people from the age of 6 years old all the way up to 102, the mental aspect is actually really where the magic happens. If you don't have the mentality down, if you don't have a gritty personality that understands that failure will happen, but you just have to get through to move on to the next challenge, then it's just never really going to work out. So I start with mental all the time. We build the physical, we build nutrition, we build recovery, we learn about social aspects of health, and we build that out. I got some drop down menus here. This page that I'm actually recording this on is available, and I'll put this video that I'm recording at the top. So you can peruse and take your time exploring the program, exploring the little pieces of it, and really see what you think. So who am I? Why should you even listen to me? Well, my name is Brent Britt. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I'm a husband. I'm an avid traveler and adventurer. I've been to Europe quite a few times, Canada quite a few times, and I'm just keep on building a resume. And I'm trying to get to every single state in the United States. So really working on that. And I just love learning about other people and other cultures. I'm a huge foodie. I eat healthy about 80, 90% of the time. And then the other time, 10%, I am just a damn heathen. I will eat anything in the world. I want to try everything at least once, within reason, of course. But at the same time, I'm a huge exerciser. I love movement. I love weightlifting. I like the sport parkour. That's how I got into falling and balance in the first place. That was the main original concept of Science of Falling, was to start with that. But during that time, I just love physical challenges. So I ran a marathon last year. I ran my very first ultra marathon this year. Turned 32, ran 32 miles, and raised $3,200 for Parkinson's. So it was a really cool birthday. I love virtual reality, the goggles that everybody's starting to wear nowadays. And I find that it's a really fun way to exercise and get into the rhythm of exercise without actually feeling like you're working out. So on the days that I don't feel like lifting weights, feel like going on a run, I throw those goggles on and I get a good 30 minutes to an hour workout in and don't even feel like I've been doing anything. I originally used to work in outpatient clinics, so like the clinic you would go to as a physical therapist, and I worked with so many different age ranges there. Now I primarily work in assisted living facilities, so I work with people from their 60s to their hundreds, and I really have a unique insight into what happens as we age and why the things that happen to 60 to 100-year-olds happen in the first place. And I realized that a lot of those issues come from choices that were made in their 20, 30, 40s, and 50s, or the habits that were either built or were not built and led them to that. And I'm a constant learner. I don't know everything in the world. No healthcare professional worth their salt, no coach worth their salt will ever tell you they know everything. It is a constant learning game. Research is constantly being done. Old ideas are constantly being refuted. And that doesn't mean those old ideas are ever bad, but with the resources and the technology that researchers, that coaches, healthcare professionals had at that time, that was the best they could do. But that is always updating, and that's a good thing, right? So we always want to keep on learning and just admit we don't know everything. So why should you trust me? I mean, that's me in a nutshell, but why should you trust me in this blueprint? Well, like I said, I'm a licensed physical therapist and I'm a health professional. My duty is to give you the best I possibly can. I designed this whole program, this 90-day age strong blueprint, holistically. I'm a physical therapist. My main mode of work is the physical side of it, but the mental, the recovery, the nutrition, the social aspects, which are all backed by research, are huge important components of doing this. I have patients that don't have family anymore and never built the proper recovery strategies from doing stuff, and they're doing horrible. And I have people that have a huge social grouping around them, but maybe don't have the best habits, and they're doing wonderful because the social aspects keep them moving, right? So we want to have a holistic approach. We don't just want to focus on the physical side of everything. The program is all about customization. So there are components, there is a slight type of pathway we will follow, but in general, it's very customizable. And the idea is, what do you need to fit your life and your belief and your goal and vision? That is what this is all about. And like I said, Science of Falling was originally made for teaching people about balance and falling, which are the biggest issues. I mean, the biggest issues as you get older. Almost all my patients have a balance issue. Almost all my patients have fallen. And when you get to a place like an assisted living facility, those are the most prevalent things that can kill you and can also make your life that much worse and have less of what's called health span, or having a healthy life. And I really realized that this is mostly due to habits people built in the past. So that is why I made this coaching program. This is why I've been coaching people for the last year or two in this format, is because I want to reach the people in their 40s and 60s and just stop that from ever happening. Teach them what they need to know, teach you what you need to know, and make sure that you never get to that point in your last 15 years. You're not bedridden, you're not stuck in a wheelchair, and you're not really just not enjoying your life. In this program, it's not vague. There are clear actionable steps. We talk out during the sessions that I would have with a coaching client. We talk out what you're going to be doing, what your homework is that week, what is the next lowest hanging fruit that we're going to tackle. And like I said, I work with real people. I'm not just on social media. Matter of fact, I don't like social media. I'm a big fan of more of this long form content. And the coaches that are on social media that you might see, the people that are just kind of putting ads out all the time and don't work with real people, they're giving cookie cutter stuff. People aren't cookie cutter, right? You are all individuals. You all need your own program. Everything I do is education based. Most of my sessions are probably more educational and informative rather than, okay, do 10 squats, okay, do this. Because you don't need someone to do that. You need someone to teach you how to do it yourself. And once you know how to do it yourself, you don't need anybody ever again. And that's the whole goal. The biggest part of this whole thing is also lifelong habits. The reason I only make a 90-day program with that extra 30 days of bonus support is because the idea is that's enough time, based off research, of course, to build a lifelong habit or build a habit that you can be consistent with. It's variable, but there are some places that say you need 20 days, some places need 66 days to build a habit, and some places you need up to 200 depending on the habit. But for the most part, this 3 to 4 month area is really the sweet spot for building consistent, healthy, lifelong habits. Like I said, accountability and support. I'm here to support people. And if you don't use my coaching services, what I really recommend people to do is find a social support group. They don't have to be doing the same wellness journey as you, but they have to be supportive of it. They have to be cheering you on. They have to keep you accountable and say, hey, did you do your workouts? Hey, you probably shouldn't eat that donut today, or whatever it might be. I also trust in the process and the evidence. Like I said, again, I'm a big evidence-based guy. I think there are some things that we don't have evidence for that might be beneficial, but for the most part, there's a lot of programs in the world that tell you this thing, coach really wants to believe it, or it sounds really sexy, and it's easy to sell to you, but it doesn't work. If I don't know something, I go to the research. If the research doesn't say anything about it, then we can make a kind of a educated guess. But if the research is saying, if I'm saying, man, bananas really make you buff, but then I look at the research and I say they make you really weak, then I'm going to change my opinion and we're going to go back and talk about that, right? So I can also say, I don't know. I'm a healthcare professional. That's my job, is to give you the best information possible. And sometimes I just don't know. So if I don't know, I'm going to even point you in the right resource, in the right direction for the proper resource or person. Or I'm going to do my due diligence and figure it out and then come back with you and say, this is what I found. What do you think? And so that is why you should trust me, is that I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this to help people. And matter of fact, I say no to a lot of people for coaching or who want to be my patients, because if they don't show the proper desire to actually do the hard work, I'm not going to waste my time, but I'm also not going to waste your money, because that money could be used much more beneficially than me just taking it for something I know is going to fail. All right, enough of that being said. So I don't really ask for testimonials. I'm in the healthcare world mostly and doing this coaching on the side. So I don't really ask for testimonials because of HIPAA violations and stuff. If I have trying to give people's information away, or if there's ways that they can figure out that this person had this issue, it just puts me in a really weird legal bind. So I don't normally have testimonials, but these are a couple of messages over the years that people have sent me or about me. So that's that, but I don't really push testimonials, so it's hard for me to give those to you. All right, let's get to the blueprint, what you really came here for. The H Strong blueprint can be broken down into 5 basic components. And I mean, this is general. This is the big umbrella. We always want to start with assessing where you are and then determine where you want to go. You can't make progress unless we know where we're going, right? So like if you're getting in the car and you don't know where you're going, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to drive randomly. Maybe you can make it somewhere cool. Maybe you don't, but it's really a crapshoot. So you need to know where you are today. What's hard for you? What's easy for you? And then determine where you want to go. And this is a big part of the mental aspect. After we do that, we have to build a strong mindset. We have to understand that this is a hard journey. I'm not promising anything's going to happen quickly, because it won't, because nothing good in life comes quick. So you have to basically figure out the resilience piece. You have to figure out when motivation wanes, what habits do you fall back onto? What are the principles you're going to fall back onto that will keep you moving down the path until that motivation comes up? Right? Because if you listen to I, the Tiger, you're going to be amped up for, 5 minutes, but then it goes away, right? You don't have that motivation anymore. So we need to build that strong mindset to kick in when the motivation kicks out. After we have that, really the mental blocks established, we want to identify quick wins based off the science of falling method up here. I'll show you again. That Forever Fit method. We want to find where the low-hanging fruit are in that method. And if we can get those low-hanging fruits, we get quick wins. Those quick wins turn into more motivation, and we just start that cycle of getting better and better health-wise. Based off of that method, we want to find and create a personalized plan. So you're going to have some quick wins here and there. You're going to find some places that are really hard, but we want to try to accomplish everything. And so the idea is, how do we go from point A, being hard, to point B, making it easy, and understanding what the goals are. And as time goes on, after that 3 to 4 month period, you just continually reassess and readjust. Life happens. Injuries happen from, playing sports or just life in terms of car accidents or whatever it might be. And we reassess, we readjust, and you need to know how to do that in a way that your brain jives with, so that you can always keep up and continue the journey even when hard times, and they will come, arise. All right, so that is the blueprint, the overarching goal, but let's get into the method. And this is where a lot of the magic is going to happen. So again, that forever aging methods right here. We do mental, physical, nutrition, recovery, social, forever fit method. Excuse me, I've changed the name a couple times. All right, so we can go into each one. Each one is kind of a webbing of components that we want to work on. And the really big work is going to be in mental, physical, nutrition, recovery. The social aspect I included because, like I said, so many people forget that that's a part of healthy aging. But in reality, it's a huge part. And we need to use it. We need to know why. We need to make sure that we don't isolate ourselves as we get older. So many people do. And that leads to depression, anxiety, sadness, which all of those are really bad for your health. Again, research supports that. I'm a research guy, so I'm not going to spew anything at you that hasn't been vetted through some sort of research and hopefully high quality research. So let's get into this. We're just going to go over these briefly. This is kind of the roadmap. If you know what you're doing, if you have the education, just look at these yellow spots and then say, okay, this is the things that I want to figure out, where I want to plug in my education. And then I want to try to master each one of these in a way that really works for your lifestyle. So mental aspects, we want to get that vision and purpose alignment. You want to find your why, point A to the end. What is the whole goal here? Motivation and habit formation. There is a thing called a linchpin habit that I'm a big proponent of. We need to find not only the habits throughout the day that make you able to live that healthy life, but you got to find that linchpin habit that sets you up for success every day. So for example, for me, if I go to bed early, I can wake up early, get my first workout in, and that tells me, okay, if I already worked out, I'm not going to blow it. So I'm going to eat a healthy breakfast. I'm going to, do this, blah, 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 the rest of the day, right? That linchpin habit for me is going to bed early because it sets my next day up for success. Yours could be having a cup of coffee. You have a cup of coffee, you feel alive, you're able to go to work happy, you're able to be happy, go to the gym afterwards, stick with your diet, whatever it is. It's really individual, but you got to find that linchpin habit that will basically set the dominoes up for all the other good habits throughout the day. Mindset, emotional resilience. You're going to have hard times. We have to figure out some strategies, whether it be meditation, journaling, or just understanding that if you are tired, you are more likely to be a little more angry or kind of standoffish or whatever, and understanding your own internal mechanisms. So that way, when those things come up, you have strategies to get around them and keep the momentum going. For me, if I don't get sleep, I'm very negative, I guess. If I don't get the sleep, I'm very negative. I feel much worse about myself. So I focus on sleep all the time. That is the big thing that I look at. Stress and mental well-being. If you have high stress levels, that is guaranteed, if it's chronic stress, to lead to so many issues in the future, and health issues, heart issues, just lack of exercise, lack of doing proper diet, because you eat ice cream, you eat your feelings, right? And that's a big area that we need to manage. In the physical side, this is what most people think about when they think about wellness coaching, and it's a big part, but it's not the only thing. So we want to teach you the foundations of fitness. You need to know what a set, what a rep is, how to structure a workout, and how to make it personalized to you, right? Personalized workout planning. If you can speak the language of the exercise, you can do the exercise better. Then we need to teach you how to progressively improve and adapt your body, both with injuries and just progress in general. Because if you do the same thing day in and day out, you will get weaker just over time. Your body, as we age, does not recover as well, and it starts to lose muscle at a specific rate. I don't want to give you any numbers. It's a couple percent per year or something like that. I don't want to give you a false number and have you quote me on that, so I got to look that up again. But if we progressively try to get stronger, progressively try to get our endurance better, we can slow that decline significantly. So always want to progress and adapt our body as much as we can. Finally, you want to track and reflect. You want to make sure you have some sort of way to tell yourself, what are you doing, so that we can look at that and say, all right, next time we have to do this in order to improve or not injure ourselves. And then over time, we want to reflect on that journey and say, are we doing the right thing for our goals? Nutrition, super, super important. If you want to change your weight, this is where it's at. It's not in exercise. It's just not going to happen. Your body adapts too readily to exercise to make any big change in your weight. So nutrition is going to be where it is, but this is also where you can have a lot of your health benefits. So here we're looking at the foundations of nutrition. That is going to be, what is a carb? What is protein? How many calories per gram? How do you set up a full eating program that is useful for you, that could be a sustainable eating practice? What is mindful and informed eating? Like, I don't count my calories. I just eat healthy 80% of the time. And the other 20% of the time, I eat whatever the heck I want. And I know how to flick the switches to gain weight or lose weight without ever really thinking about it. Weight management, again, I want you to learn how to flick those switches and how to gain and lose. And that is going to be just through the strategies that you implement. It might be counting calories. It might be counting macros. You might have a pretty fine-tuned diet, so you know where to add in extra food or lose extra food to make that weight go up and down. But that is another big part of this. And once you can master your weight management, the confidence goes through the roof, because that is something that most people can't do. And for those who really want to get into more advanced nutrition, like fasting, like extreme, veganism or carnivore diets, or all these other kind of on the fringes diets, we can talk about that. And supplementation, specific adjustments for aging, as you get older, you need more protein, stuff like that. Stuff that is like the cherry on top, we would go over and make sure that so you can make those adjustments as time goes on. Recovery is huge. If you don't have good sleep, you got nothing. Right? You can work out till the cows come home, but if you're not sleeping, you're not doing good. And that is just pure truth. Workout recovery planning. Again, if you've beaten yourself up in the gym, which is really breaking the body down, you're not recovering correctly, you won't make any progress. So sleep, working out recovery, and using nutrition to really help you bolster that, those workouts and get the most out of them, is really what you need to learn to continue that progress. Make sure you're mentally sharp as well and you feel good. And the mind-body recovery integration, again, if your body feels like crap, your brain will feel like crap. If your brain feels like crap, your body will feel like crap. You have to bring them together and integrate that recovery to really holistically get the body in the right direction. Finally, the social aspect, like we talked about, we want to make sure that you build and maintain social connections. Maybe you expand your social horizons and do unique and novel things, which, by the way, in the brain, time seems to slow down as we do novel things. Like, think about the last vacation you went on. It kind of slows down. Yet at the end, it almost feels like, oh, that was really quick. But in the moment, everything slows down, right? So expanding your social horizons brings in more people, but it also makes you experience new things, which makes you feel like, in general, you have more time while you're doing it. We also have that social accountability and motivation. If you have people who are relying on you or telling you that, you need to keep on your goals, and they keep you honest if you're keeping on them or not, that is more likely to keep you doing. If you have a friend that's like, hey, you shouldn't have that cheeseburger, right? You're going to say, you know what? You're right. I'm going to get some lean chicken or whatever it is. And then navigating social challenges. There will be some people in your life who you love dearly, but they don't understand what you're doing. They want to have a beer. You want to have a glass of water. They think you're a lame-o. You say, hey, it's just about me trying to be healthy. Eventually I'll be able to have a beer and not worry about it. But right now I'm really trying to be strict, or whatever it might be. Those are really important concepts that we need to work on, and that you need to work on, to make sure that the social aspects build you up rather than break you down. Finally, in the program that I have, we use an app called Everfit, and it basically is my way of making us accountable to each other, so that I can give you workouts, I can give you tips, whatever. You have access to me through the messaging right here. And then you have a way to kind of record what you're doing. This is that tracking aspect. It's just a really good way to communicate, and that social accountability is everything. So that is the 90-day A Strong Blueprint. Like I said, if you want to have help, if you need a coach to help you go through this and really make lasting forever life changes over a 3 to 4 month period, I'm your guy. I'm here for you. I'm ready to help you. If you're interested, but you're not really gung-ho on it, please, please, please don't get into my coaching program, because I want to help people who really want it. I turn a lot of people down because they sounds interesting, but they're not ready to really make the changes. So consume some of my free stuff that I'm going to be making a lot more of. Consume my content on Facebook, social media, on the website, sciencefalling.com, and see what you think. If you are a person who understands this stuff, if you have the knowledge, you just want some sort of system to make it happen, this is your thing. I recommend getting in there, figuring out where you want to go, hit the low-hanging fruits, and then build out those other pieces that you aren't as knowledgeable about. And if you have any questions for me, shoot me a little text, a DM on social media, hit me with an email on sciencefalling.com. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction and give you a couple tips, free of charge, of course, because I'm just here to help people out. So I appreciate y'all. Hopefully that was informative. That was definitely a little longer than 15 minutes, so I apologize, but I will see you all in the future.